Hey, I'm Dean and this is Legacy Voyage. In Season 1, I'm documenting my journey to earning my first 100K net worth as a full-time college student. Join me as I share some of the lessons I learned along the way.
A couple of years back, there was this fifth grader dean. One Sunday before the new year, like I'm pretty sure every one of us is probably doing this right now, trying to think through what our New Year's resolutions are going to be. How will the next year turn out? And like many people listening to this, it's probably something along the lines of, I want to lose weight or I want to be healthier or something like that. It was no different than me to be at least like 8, maybe 10 years ago. But I remember this one year particular where I was sitting in Sunday and I pull out this paper and I have this pen in my hand and I'm writing down all of my new goals because my New Year's resolution that year, because it was going to be the year where I get a six pack. I get six pack abs. And so I'm writing down, I'm going to wake up every day, 6, 7 in the morning and jog for 30 minutes. And that's one resolution. Okay. What's the next one? Let's think. Maybe I could also work out every day. So I did that. So not only will I wake up 6 in the morning to do a 30-minute jog, come home, shower, and then get ready, head to the bus stop, and then go to school. Not only will I do that, but I'll come back from school and then go to the gym again, work out for another 30 minutes. So that was the new plan. And of course, looking back at it now, I'm thinking, what the heck is that kid thinking? There's no way he's going to do all these things. But man, in that moment, I was the most motivated little kid you ever seen. Because I wrote all these things down and I was like, okay, I'll do a 30-minute jog, 30-minute workout. What else can I do? Oh, my diet, of course. So I decided that day, trying to think through what will my diet look like when I get back home for the new year. Because at the time, I think I was in Cali, over with my dad. I started thinking through, okay, when I get home, let's see, every day I'll eat bagels and apple juice. That'll be my whole diet. And I kid you not, that year, my diet for the next like month or two, because I didn't know any better, I would eat 2 bagels in the morning and a glass of apple juice. Then I'll come home that day, ate 2 bagels when I got home, and another glass of apple juice. So every day, it would be those cheese bagels from Costco, and I would just slam 4 of them every single day, and then we would run through the apple juice. So I guess that resolution I did keep, but it didn't help me at all on my pack abs goal. But I had all these goals. Those are the 3 goals that were help me on my journey to getting six-pack abs. And so I wrote those down, and I finally get back home, and I put it into action. To school the next day, and I decided the day before, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna go for a run. So I hyped myself up that day, get all my running shoes ready. It was kind of like the first day of school. You know how this probably happens to every kid, but they get super motivated the night before their first day of school, where they'll look over their schedule and then get all their clothes ready. Like me as a kid, the first day of school, I would sleep in whatever I was going to wear the next day. So that way I could hop right out of bed. My shoes are already at my bedside. My lunch was already packed. My bag was already put together. All I had to do was grab and go. But that's the type of one-time motivation that I had that day. It was like the first day of school. So I had my running shoes all prepared. I was wearing my workout clothes. So slept, and then 6 a.m. rolls around, and that alarm goes off, and you know dang well I did not wake up that day. So that day came, and then it went, and the motivation did not last. But that happens to the best of us, because I still ate my 2 bagels, still got my apple juice in, so that was going as well as it could have. Wake up, go to school, finally get out of school. I'm like, you know what? Let's get that workout in. But at the time, let me remind you, I'm a little kid. I didn't know how to work out. I didn't know anything about lifting or any of that. And so what I decided to do was look it up on YouTube. And on YouTube, I searched up how to get six-pack abs. And of course, I found this video has this crazy clickbait thumbnail and title, how to get a six-pack in 5 minutes or something like that. And so I found this video. It was like a ab workout video. And so I decided to do that twice a day for as long as I could have. At the time, I was like, I'm gonna do this for the rest of the year. But that was my idea. I was gonna do this workout video twice a day, and I did. So I got home that day, looked up the video, found it, then I did it. I can't lie, that video is kind of like it was a solid workout. I mean, it'll get your abs pumping, but at the time I didn't know abs are made in the kitchen. So that lasts for a good while. Couple weeks pass, couple months pass, and then I stopped doing it. And then I get tired of the bagels and the apple juice. I stopped doing that. And then the new year rolls around the next year, and it's the same old, same team in the same situation, doing the same things. Where I'm like, okay, you know what? This year is the year. This year is the year I'm gonna get a six pack. It's real this time, for sure, for sure. And that's basically happened like clockwork every single year. Now, tell me if you can relate, but does that sound familiar? Where you're trying to do this goal, the new year rolls around, and you're like, okay, New Year's resolutions. Gotta write down my bullet list and post it on the wall and do my dream vision board or whatever it's called and look at it every single day just for that to fall by the wayside a couple days, couple weeks, maybe even a couple months if you're lucky. But you know dang well that when the next year rolls around, it's a lost cause. And that's how I felt for a long, long time, where there's no point of all these resolutions because the thing that I was missing was the whole point of all of it. Because let me put it like this. Is it possible to win? Is it possible to get the body that you want? Maybe it's six pack, maybe it's being super skinny, maybe it's being super bulky. But is it possible to get that body you want and then just stop? Alert. The answer is no. Put this into perspective. If right now a genie came along and he said, give me your wish, and I wish for six pack abs right now, and then he gives me abs with the same habits that I doing right now, the same mindset, the same everything that I have right now around food and exercise and all of that. Give me a couple years and I won't have the same body. Or to draw another analogy, let's say I win the lottery today and I win $1 million. And maybe I have this huge spending problem where I always spend more than I earn. Then give me a couple years and I'll be broke. And the reason is because there's no end to the game of health. It's not like eventually you wake up one day and you're like, oh, I'm healthy now. I can stop and I've won. The game of health is an infinite game. It's one that you play until the end and you keep playing it simply because you love the game. It's not a game where you're trying to keep track of points. How many points did you put up on the scoreboard? And then at the end of the day, you're like, okay, I've won. Nice. I can step away now. But it's this infinite game where the goal of the game is to keep playing it and actually enjoy the process. And I think that's why up until now, I've always approached these infinite games like health, games like making money or wealth or success, games like relationships, maybe with my mom or with my siblings or with cousins. I've always approached these games like finite games where there's an end to them. And that's exactly what I think New Year's resolutions are. They're finite games because you can win the game of getting a six pack. All you really need to do for that is hit 16% body fat or 12%, whatever it is, and boom, you have six pack abs. But realistically, there's no point in getting those abs if a year from getting those abs, you're at the same spot you were a year before. And so, bringing that all together, I'm proud to say that over this past year, I hit my New Year's resolution of 12,000 steps every single day on average. There were days where I missed it and I maybe hit like 3,000 or 4,000. There are days when I went way above and beyond and hit like 30,000. But over the average of these last 365 days, I've hit 12,000 steps on average. And that's something that I'm really happy about. I'm really proud of that. And that being said, I also recognize that that goal, that finite game, is really just like a checkpoint on this infinite game or this infinite journey of my health, my physical health. Because it's not like there's no use for finite games. Goals and resolutions, they can definitely direct us towards becoming the person we want to become. But I think it's really important to also recognize that those are finite games. And it's not like after you hit your goal that you can say, okay, I can take my foot off the gas pedal and slam on the brakes and be like, okay, that's chill. That's all for today. I'm good. I hit my goal. But understanding that that goal is really a checkpoint. And after you pass the checkpoint, it gives you permission to go even harder and push even harder on the gas pedal to go even further. I think that's really important. So happy New Year's, everyone. In the future, if you're listening to this, it's New Year's. And what I was gonna do is write out like a long list of have and really put it into writing, put it out there so I can be held accountable for all these things. But then I decided, you know what? I'm just enjoying the infinite game right now. Like I'm just enjoying the process that playing this game is helping me become as a person because I'm growing a lot just through all these internships, being closer with my family, and being healthier as a person. Like not even physically, but just mentally and spiritually, I think. And so running through my three areas of life, the always prioritize number one, health. But before I go into that, let me give a little life update. 'Cause it's been about 2 weeks since my last episode, and we're on holidays, which is why I haven't been posting, or it's why I missed last week. Left Chicago, went to Vegas, and then from there we headed over to New Zealand for Christmas. Got to see a whole bunch of family. Bunch of them came over from Tonga, and then now I'm out here in Cali for New Year's. And as you can imagine, when you're on vacation, it's a lot tougher to stick with your goals. But to put it in the language that I've been using throughout this episode, it's a lot harder to play the game when there's a whole bunch of other distractions out there. Now, what does that mean? When I was in New Zealand for those 3, 4, 5 days, however long it was, diet was literally like cookies and noodles and ice cream and chips every single day. Like those were my four food groups, and it's all I would eat. If you put me in that same situation last year, I would come out of it right now talking about how sad I am that I did that, about how I shouldn't have done that, or why I have to stop eating all these junk foods. That's exactly what I would have said a year ago. Right now, I've come to the epiphany or the realization that in life, you honestly don't have to do anything. Like, there's no objective, invisible hand that's grabbing you by the throat and saying, you better do this or else. Or to give a more accurate analogy, there's no evil spirit that's going to jump into your body and actually force you to do something. Because as of right now, I don't think you necessarily must do anything. Like, you can be listening to this episode of this entire thing and be like, I'm not gonna do that. And I would say to you, okay. Like, the reason why I share all these things is because I think it helps, at least me in my journey. It has helped me grow and become more of the person that I want to be. And if that's what you want to do, then go ahead. Maybe the lessons apply. But I'm not gonna say you have to stop sabotaging yourself or you have to start eating healthy, whatever that means. I'm gonna say, you know what? If you want to be a healthier person, then maybe eating healthier food will help you towards that goal. Because there's this magical thing that I think we all have, and it's a powerful gift called choice, where we can make choices. But that was like a little side tangent. And it's something that I've been hitting on over and over. Even today in church, he's talking about this thing called the plan of salvation. And it's basically in the gospel or the LDS faith, it's this whole plan that Jesus set out and Heavenly Father put into action. And he was talking about, okay, so when you're on the earth, there's all these things that you have to do. You have to get baptized and have faith and go to the temple, like all these things. And he's running through all these things that we have to do. At the very end, he's like, the reason that we can do all of these things, all of this plan of salvation, is because God gives us the gift of choice. And he said it, I'm like, wait a minute, back that up. I guess it's this gift of choice. And why do we have to do any of it? There's a caveat there in that if you want to go to the highest kingdom or the highest level of heaven in the LDS faith, then reading scriptures and going to church and going to the temple, then all of those things will help you towards that goal. And if you don't, then you don't. And that is your choice. But that's just something that I was thinking about. That was a huge side tangent, but it's okay. On to the next thing. Okay, where was I? I think I was talking about health, maybe. But oh yeah, physical health and how the holidays was like all these obstacles. Yeah, my health definitely wasn't the best for the past like 2 weeks. Eating a whole bunch of food didn't really work out. There was this one time where I did get to work out, and it was actually so tough because that morning I ate like ice cream and chips, and then going in to get a lift in, a couple hours later, oh my goodness, I just felt completely depleted of energy. Oh, it was rough, but that's what you learn that your food actually does help you get energy, and you are what you eat, I guess. But I'm looking forward to this next year and really just getting back into school and getting back into the swing of things where I can be more of a on point. Like I don't have to be wondering where my next meal is going to come from. 'Cause that's what it kind of is on vacation, where you're like, okay, I better eat this right now because I don't know when I'm going to get my next meal. But really, that's like a lie I tell myself to give me an excuse to eat. But that's kind of how it is on vacation. But when I'm at school, I'm be like, okay, every morning I have this meal, and then at 12 I can have this, and then at dinner I eat this. I can just be more structured that way. That'll be nice, and also be able to exercise regularly, like more easily. So that'll be a plus. In terms of mental health, like I've been talking about this whole episode, it's really good, and it's been that way for a long, long time. Of course, the past 2 weeks, because of the holidays, because of like my physical health kind of hitting the fan, but not in the same way it used to. It's more of just like an obstacle that I kind of went through. My mental health definitely took kind of a hit from that. But being with my family, it's nice. And then spiritual, definitely still on the journey of faith. Like I've been talking about God and Jesus and this LDS faith that I'm going through. And I definitely think it has this positive cash value on my life for sure. But I'm definitely still on that journey. Like I'm still trying to find my way through things. And we'll see. Maybe a year from now, I have it all figured out. And I'm like, you know what? I don't believe any of this stuff. Or I'm like, you know what? I'm going on my mission, but I have no idea what the future holds. The next area of life is relationships. Like I said, being with my family is awesome, but there are a lot of, let's say, arguments or broken relationships within my family. And sometimes people will just hold grudges against each other. And it's something that I've been thinking about for a while now. And after talking to someone, I've realized that really the best thing I can do is just to love them. Like as best as I just love them to the best of my ability. Because guess what? It's what Jesus would do. Now with romantic relationships, my girlfriend. This has really been the first relationship I've ever had. So I've been diving into a whole bunch of relationship books. One of them being the five love languages. And I'll talk about that in a future episode. But there's a lot of lessons in that book that I can apply not only to this relationship, but all the other ones with my family and even professional relationships with me and the boss and employees too, and being able to work within a team. And that gets into the last area as well. With it's going well, I think. I'm slowly kind of figuring out where I want to be placing my time, what I want to be doing. And I think I've kind of decided to do this whole search fund thing. Not necessarily just search fund, but this whole ETA, entrepreneurship through acquisition, where instead of buying or instead of doing a startup and trying to create this brand new thing and go from 0 to 1, just go out there, look for something and buy it and take something from 1 to 10. And the way I'm doing that is through this internship I'm doing right now, and then classes, just through school, get that stamp of approval from Northwestern of like, okay, this kid went to this school and he has this brand name and this network that he gets access to. But really, school is just honestly opens up so much opportunity. Not the education. The education is like, meh. It's very the value comes from the opportunities, the people that I meet, the jobs that are offered, the connections I make. That's where the real value of college is at, I think. But yeah, that's all for this episode. I was looking back and trying to find my very first episode, and it was sometime in late January. I thought I already passed my year anniversary for making this podcast, but I guess I haven't. And we're approaching that in the next like 3, 4 weeks. I'm totally grateful for all the growth at this past year. Hopefully, I'll have just a lot more the next year and become the person that I want to become. Looking forward to the growth and just recording my journey on my way there. So I'll see you in the next year. Happy New Year and see you then. I record these episodes completely free to share success with everyone. So the only thing I ask is that if you learned anything or found something interesting in this episode, just leave a review and share it with a friend. Only takes 5 seconds and it would mean the world. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next episode. Tatok, see you.